Hi guys, hope you're all doing okay. So I've decided to do a video today on the hottest day, which is going to be, I think, on world record that we're aware of. It is currently 10 in the morning here in the UK on Tuesday, and my living room, because I have a conservatory, is already up to 36 degrees. I'm currently sitting with ice packs and I will be taking intermittent breaks with my fan, so I will be perspirating quite a bit in this video, but this is dedication for you. We've got to talk about the Mandela speech. Obviously, it's absolutely huge. It's everywhere for, again, all of the wrong reasons. But before I begin on that video, I got it. It arrived. Dun, 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 according to Taz YouTube Silver Creator Award, because I got over 100,000 subscribers. And thanks, guys. Thank you so much. Really cool. So I got a nice little letter that came with it congratulating me, saying, good luck building the community. Who knows, one day you could get 1 million subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, can you please subscribe? Anyway, guys, let's get on with the video. So, as expected, and not surprisingly at all, Harry, the former prince, well, he's still a prince of the United Kingdom, arrived at the UN Assembly in New York by private jet with SUVs to talk about the environment, carbon footprint, poverty, with his wife, also equally spoilt, turning up in a roughly $3,000 new outfit. And then, of course, the jewellery, which you know will add up to hundreds of thousands, to discuss poverty. Only in the world of rich celebrities and politicians would anyone think that this is okay. As I was saying, the eco-warriors naturally arrived with the SUVs, and it must have been a very chilly day because Meghan is clinging on to Harry for dear life. It must be those terrifying security concerns that the couple have because she was hanging on to him. Again, yes, it's cute when a couple are married and they hold hands, or not married. It's cute when a couple hold hands at school. It's cute when a couple hold hands walking down the beach. It is not cute when a couple are, supposed to be going to a business meeting, a business function, holding hands like they are teenage love-struck children. Now, naturally, we had several standard cards that were drawn in Harry's speech. I mean, what have we come to expect? They never disappoint. First one we had obviously the Diana card pulled, which is fine because his mother actually met Nelson Mandela. Harry and Meghan, when they went over to South Africa as members of the royal family, the only reason why they got this privilege, actually met with Nelson Mandela's widow, Graça Machel. And obviously, this is the whole thing about it. People are kicking off all over the place because they're like, he's a prince of the monarchy, colonialism, everything. And the racial tensions that Harry and Meghan have stirred up have been absolutely epic. The UK, the royal family, the media. Yeah, here they are giving a speech. Well, not they are, but we know they are. We know that she wrote the speech for him. He's basically a ventriloquist dummy, isn't he? But, he is a prince of the United Kingdom, still sits in line to the throne. Also, reasons why I don't understand why they got Harry up there is Harry has said quite a lot of racist things in the past. Not only has he done, got in trouble for that fancy dress party. Secondly, there was lots of racial slurs when he was in the army that he called his colleagues. He loosely apologised for it because his PR made him once it became public knowledge because the idiot let himself be filmed on camera doing it, but he shouldn't have been doing it in the first place. So again, it's all rather bizarre that they couldn't find someone better to really give a speech on this, this day that is supposed to be honouring Nelson Mandela's legacy. Harry naturally then brought up his wife in his speech, which, well, that was always going to happen, wasn't it? Because, she writes the speech. Harry made a point of saying that South Africa was where he fell in love with Meghan, echoing much a similar speech that William gave at one point where he was up in Scotland and he was thanking, obviously the fact that Scotland was where, he went to university, he met Catherine, they fell in love. And it's funny how Harry's done something very similar. Another card pulled was obviously the fact that he was talking about the disinformation, the lies that are spread through the media causing so much harm. We obviously then had the fact that the world is suffering. The last 10 years have been the worst, but this is where he laid down a card which has really backfired on him, and only a stupid person would think that it wouldn't. Harry's chosen his speech to praise Nelson Mandela's legacy at the UN, of which no one was really paying attention because no one was there, to throw down another swipe at US politics. Now, I'm in no doubts that this speech was entirely written by Meghan, who is a US citizen, and she can say as she pleases about her home country she was born into. She votes there, she hopefully pays her taxes there, and Harry is a royal British prince who still insists on using his British royal titles and has none of the above. He doesn't have citizenship, he doesn't vote. And yet, here he is again, wading into US politics. To say it's not gone down well, itty-bitty understatement. Now, what could Harry have done that is so bad talking about US politics? Well, I'm sure if you're watching from the USA, you already know because everyone's talking about it. Harry decided on stage to talk about, obviously, the travesties that have happened. The last decade has been the worst decade for the earth. You know, this is all doom and gloom, Harry. The last year, because of the pandemic, bear in mind, hundreds of thousands of people have lost their lives. Then he spoke about the war in Ukraine. Obviously, devastating. Hundreds of thousands of people have lost their lives. And then in the same quick breath, then goes on to turn around and say, and also the global assault on democracy and freedoms by rolling back constitutional rights here in the United States. Again, I'd like to point out his adopted country, and he's clearly referring to the recent, obviously huge thing, the reversal, the rollback of the decision of Roe and Wade. The speech should have been about honouring Nelson Mandela, his legacy. But instead, it was used as his wife's political swipe, a way for Harry to again bring up all the things that he's told to bring up, isn't it? It's all to do with disinformation, misinformation, yet they're the ones that are putting out a lot of lies to do with their families, which they've been caught out on, lots of various other things they've been caught out on, and this Tom Bowers book is revealing some more, which I'll come to later in the week. But they lie an awful lot. To be honest, the one thing I am just a little bit surprised that Harry didn't manage to mention in his speech to do with, you know, their normal word salads that they bring up at every possible available opportunity, and that was he didn't talk about his genetic pain. Now, Harry, throughout this, sitting there, looked like he was completely out of his depth. And let's be honest, he is. As I said, you know as well, this is not Harry. He's moving his mouth, but it's his wife's voice that everyone can hear. Now, it's not just me. This is all over social media. This is all over media all around the world. Newspapers, everything. Everyone is talking about the fact that Harry is not someone who's qualified to talk about struggles of poverty, to talk about carbon footprints and trying to save the planet when he uses private jets all the time, when he uses SUVs. And it's not just like he's driving around in an SUV. They've constantly got an entourage with them. They've got security with them, 3 or 4 vehicles sometimes with them to go to any sort of event. Gone are the days, I've said it before, where people, the normal people like you and me, are going to sit there and listen to multi-millionaires preach to us about their struggles or, you know, the things that we need to change in our life, to change the planet, to shape the world the way that they want to view it. As Diana once said, shh, Harry. Lots of people are questioning the decision to use Harry to give this keynote speech. Maybe they did it because they knew that Harry and Meghan loved them or loathed them. They do draw a lot of attention. But the problem is they probably weren't expecting in Harry's 15-minute speech about Nelson Mandela to briefly mention him and to use it to make political swipes again against the USA, which has obviously overshadowed anything that he said. When Harry did actually talk about Nelson Mandela, one of the big things that he made a point of saying, it's one of the biggest things about Nelson Mandela, was his imprisonment, his personal endurance, his hope and his courage. And what's worrying with that is it's all words that we've heard before when Harry and Meghan talk about themselves. Given the title of their hagiography, Finding Freedom, and Nelson Mandela's autobiography, Long Walk to Freedom, one can only hope that Harry doesn't have any thoughts in his brain where he compares his and Meghan's struggles to that of Nelson Mandela or the people of South Africa. But given their South African interview that they did when the first grenade was shown, where they were stood, and as I've said before, you know, in a country that has got a lot of problems, that's when they chose the moment to tell the world that they weren't okay. So it wouldn't really surprise me that Harry actually does compare his struggles to that of Mr. Mandela. Now, Piers Morgan has naturally hit the nail on the head as far as I'm concerned, and I'm going to read it to you here. Mandela was fiercely intelligent, remarkably resilient, astoundingly courageous, devoted to his family and country, genuinely humble, highly principled, incredibly inspiring, and lit up any room he entered with a smile that warmed the world. Harry, by contrast, is as dumb as a rock, breathtakingly arrogant, woefully hypocritical, deserted his family and country, is a permanently miserable, whiny mood hoover, doesn't inspire me to open a crisp packet, and wouldn't understand a principle if it slapped him around his haughty, woke, ravaged chops. Now, I know not everyone is a massive fan of Piers Morgan, but I really do love hearing him talking about Harry and Meghan. He just literally just smashes it out of the park every single time. Now, whilst the world is now discussing the fact that Harry possibly shouldn't have actually given that speech, it seemed to me throughout that Harry himself did not actually want to be there. I haven't watched the body language guy's assessment of this yet, but I'm going to be doing it after I finish filming. And you don't need to be a body language expert to see here that he was incredibly uncomfortable. Could it be due to the fact that no one was there? This was not like Auntie Sophie, where she gave an address at the UN General Assembly, because the actual General Assembly, I think, don't come back until September. And when you look around the room, so few people were there. Even the few people were there, they were on their phones. They didn't care. No one was listening to him. It's pretty embarrassing, really, considering how Harry has previously been able to command attention being a member of the royal family. I do wonder if it's beginning to really sink in yet, because he looked truly miserable. And there is a clip that I'm going to play for you here, and he looks truly a broken man. Meghan naturally is here. She's in her prime. She is smiling. She's loving this. This will all be used, these photographs, for Netflix footage, and it will be used for, obviously, Meghan's campaign going into the political world. You know it will be. But she's sitting here playing the dutiful wife. Now, you can see Harry shakes his hand. He doesn't want to hold her hand. And she grabs it back. Look at that, literally. Replay. I'm going to replay it a couple of times. He shakes off her hand. She grabs it back, but she doesn't just grab it back. She then uses her other arm to interlock to get him gripped into an arm hold. So the only way that Harry can now let go of her hand is if he literally does a Hulk Hogan move and wrestles his way out of it. That is so controlling. That is unbelievable. Some people said, oh, she's comforting him. He pulled his hand away from her. He did not want to hold her hand. You know, that's just not healthy. Harry looks broken. He looks absolutely haggard compared to what he was when he was a member of the royal family. Harry's spoken about how everyone else is trapped. He looks trapped. This meme sums it up for me. As I said, unlike his auntie, Sophie, the Countess of Wessex, Harry didn't have a table sitting there with the United Kingdom in front of him. They were stuffed at the side. Again, look at the photos. There is no one there. It's got to be one hell of a smack for his ego. And another big cracking smack for his ego was the fact that, like the title of this video, they didn't get Harry's name right. And this might be why Meghan pulls this face. And luckily for you, I've saved a little voice clip for you so you can hear it for yourselves.
As it has been just said by Prince Duke of Wessex.
Prince Duke of Wessex. Ouch! Oh, can you imagine? Meghan looked really pissed at this point, and I don't know if this coincides with when it happened. Harry actually looks very upset at this point, like he knows he's going to get it when he gets to the car. Maybe he said something wrong in the speech. Maybe he didn't come across well in his speech. But either way, we've seen Meghan with this jutted out chin look before, and it normally means that she is incredibly unhappy about something. And given the look that she had on her face when she was looking up to the skies, it was like she was trying to smite Harry with a thunderbolt. Or that might have been a couple of the protesters that were quite rightly stood outside holding a placard that I happen to agree with. It does make you wonder how Netflix are actually going to be able to spin this. What are they going to do? Like put CGI audience members in? Applauses. You know, like the old-fashioned TV shows where you'd have the red lights light up. Everyone scream and cheer. Yay! Maybe he'll get a standing ovation like Meghan did in her UN Women's speech, which she didn't, which was another porcupine. Princess Pinocchio striked again. But luckily, Meghan is always on hand to make sure that there are some photographs, some additional photographs. You didn't think it was all about Harry, did you? Meghan was magically photographed at the perfect moment that she and Gloria Steinem, who had just lunched together, because Meghan is a lady that lunches, coming out of a restaurant. Meghan, homing in with her radar, managed to catch the photographer's eye at that very precise moment, even though she looked like that she was actually helping Gloria, or supposed to be helping Gloria to the car. It always amazes me that Meghan seems to always know exactly where the paparazzi are at that precise moment. It reminds me of Amber Heard coming out of court with the bruise on her face, and she knew exactly which side to swish her hair where the TMZ photographers were going to be. Meghan wearing an outfit nicely coordinated with a matching bag, a matching belt and matching shoes, and one can only hope that she actually bought these shoes herself and didn't steal them from a photo shoot. Those of you that are not in the know while I've made that joke, don't worry, I will be discussing that in my videos coming out this week, where I will obviously talk about some of the excerpts that have come out with Tom Bower's book, Revenge. Look at these memes, they are just beautiful. Keep punching them out, people. I will keep saving them and posting them. Finishing off the couple's very important whirlwind trip to New York on day one, they were photographed and filmed by a waiting paparazzi as they left an exclusive Italian restaurant where they'd reportedly had dinner with friends. Harry clearly wasn't happy to see the waiting paps, but Meghan, on the other hand, given the big Cheshire cat grin that she's sporting, I think that she is more than happy with having her photograph taken. I wonder how the paparazzi knew exactly what restaurant they'd be at. And another curious question I have is, why has she picked a pantsuit that's quite clearly almost identical in style and colouring to a dress that Catherine wore recently to the Top Gun premiere? Anyone would think that she actually wants the comparison. Tell me what you guys think. Do you think that it was just clearly coincidental? So that's it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will be back with you very, very soon. Take care for now. Bye.
If you like my video, please remember to like and subscribe. Please, angry typists, you will be blocked, so save your fingers the time. If you would like to buy me a coffee, please go to my About page and click the link. Love, Taz.